Hello, this is Shelly. I've noticed I've left you all without one of my famous rants for quite a long time. Famous, infamous, same difference. So today I will do a quick, brief rant while we're waiting for the rum cake to cool about whatever I feel like. I'm going to start off with something that's an old issue that everyone probably feels this way with horror movies. Not just horror movies, but movies in general. And that is remakes or a reimagining or whatever they're calling it these days. I know about 1,000 people have bitched about this before, so I know I'm not the first, probably won't be the last. But for some reason, it just got in my head today that this pisses the fuck off of me. Sorry, this is obviously not a PG version of this conversation. There was a time when you'd have an occasional remake, and a remake would be done maybe 40 years from an original, maybe 20. It wasn't like, hey, we're remaking left and right. There were certain things that there's a remake because the original story was so good that they did it multiple times. Okay, that's fine. But now, it feels like remakes. It's really bad in the horror genre because it seems like we're going through this resurgence of almost the slasher genre, but not even with... They know we want to see a Jason movie, but we're really sick of kind of the whole line of where Jason went. So it's like, okay, let's reboot. Or, hey, we like Freddy, let's try and reboot that, but with some young hot stars. Don't get me wrong, there are a few good ones. But, with that said, I have to go through a lot more crap to get to a good one, and I'm getting sick of it. And it's not like, that we do remakes of foreign films. This has always been done. It's not, like, completely new. But when I'm watching... Okay, for example, Quarantine, which is a remake of Wreck. Here's my comment. What the... Okay, let me hold back for a second. It is almost the exact film by film of the movie. It's almost shot by shot. There's like one or two small changes, but for the most part, it's the exact same movie. So, because they think Americans are all lazy and we don't want to read subtitles, we're not going to watch it. And guess what? They were proven right, because guess what? Quarantine's made a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. It's not a bad movie. It's just, I had the original. It was only done a couple years ago. Or before that. But, as usual, we need to Americanize everything and dumb it down for us. Because, for some reason, okay, I get, we do have some dumb culture people in our culture. But I think more people want some originality. In the 90s, the big boom was independent film. And all little indie filmmakers came out. And the one good thing about that, no matter what you feel about it, there was some creativity. Horror movies, specifically, is going through such a dull phase because it feels like there's nothing that's creative. For every 1-2 creative things we get a mess load of crap. And it's like all of a sudden horror fans lost their brain. Like not horror fans, horror filmmakers have lost their brain on coming up with something new. Now, it's not just horror, obviously. It's across the board. What do I see on TV that came out? For every one good thing, there's Underworld, whatever it is, Part 4, who knows? Just something to do. Kate Beckinsale looking hot in her little outfit in 3D. Okay, next. What else? What's one of the other stupid movies that are out now? The Vow. Oh my god. I understand there's chick flicks, but there's chick flicks, and then there's hey, let me be the most pathetic version of a movie ever. If you're not sure what it is, I've never seen the movie, but the trailer alone leads me not to want to watch this movie. Do you know what creative for that movie is? Husband and wife, deeply in love, wife somehow gets amnesia, don't even know, and the husband tries to win her back. But, nice in sentiment, but the damn husband, he has more flippin' estrogen in his body than any man I know. I think he may have more estrogen than the wife in that damn movie. It drives me up the wall. It's like, hey, let me just come up with a cheesy idea. Movies like that used to be what would be on Lifetime. Now, there's somewhat of big names associated with that, and that's considered a big movie. People come up with some ideas. Any ideas. Man, at this point, I'll take bad ideas over something that looks like I could have either watched it on Lifetime, or I've seen the original 1,000 times over. What used to make in the horror movies so great is the vast variety of something. Someone would come up with something and go with it. Now, I'm not opposed to sequels. I love sequels. Even crappy sequels sometimes I'll watch. But with that said, I just want something that feels like I haven't seen it 1,000 times before. Now, every time I see something about a girl that kicks ass and whatever, it's like, okay, now I'm watching Buffy again. Nothing wrong with it, it's just I feel like that's how I've seen it. And I feel like with horror, I keep focusing on horror because it's my genre I love the most. But for a lot of these things, it's like reboot. Oh my god, I'm sick of this, boring. Come on, let's come up with something original. Yeah, you know why I like the Avengers? True, it's pulled from the comic books, and we can all point to how many various different versions of it. But even while they're building the stories for the individual characters in those comic book movies, they're wrapping it so that you know there's going to be a bigger grasp on it. They're making it a whole new thing and pulling everyone in together. You know, the ideas are ripped from the comic books, so it doesn't take rocket science. But sometimes I don't understand, especially if you're based on a book or a comic book or something, how you can't pull off a good idea and go with it. Okay, so I went completely off topic. I guess my original point is I'm sick of remakes and reimaginings or reboots or whatever we're calling. Something with the word R-E in it is going to drive me up the wall. Like I said, there are some that I like, but there's a lot more that just I feel like I wasted my money even watching. Luckily, I'm wasting my cable money versus my regular money. Okay, another thing that drives me up the wall, well, a lot of things drive me up the wall, is kind of how can I say this? So, as you can tell, when I get whatever, I'm not as animated as I could be, but I have my moments. I love Tampa and Tampa Bay. I love our little quirky offbeat things. I love how there's like this whole different community of stuff. And that's just, you know people and they know people and it's just awesome. And everyone can have their own little thing. What I don't like is how people start like thinking, oh, it's whatever. Yeah, I know, it's small compared to bigger cities. But still, we've got a pretty big, good sized area. We got a good feel. You know, I know people are looking at me and thinking, oh my god, what the fuck is she talking about? Don't worry, you're not the only one. My husband's probably thinking that as well. What I mean is, this is Tampa. Bad or good? Now, right now I'm in Port Richey, but you get my point. Tampa Bay. I lived in Tampa most of it. I feel more like a tampon, as we like to affectionately call ourselves, than anything. But I love how we have all these different things. I love the fact that, even though I may not like death metal music, I love the fact that this was a place that was like the big center for death metal. Even though I may not like everything I see at the castle's an institution. It's going to be there for a while, and it's been there for a while. It's got a good environment, and yeah, maybe I don't like the music on Saturday nights anymore, but it's a feel that's there. You go there, and you do feel your camaraderie. Friday night music's still awesome, but still, you know, things change and clubs change, and that's expected. With that said, maybe they need to repair some of that exterior of the building, because it does look like it's about to fall down any time now. Also, I love the fact that I can, if I'm looking for it, I can find those little hole-in-the-wall things, those little underground things. Splatter Cinema Theater. It was back in October, and it was this cool, like, at the Silver Meter Gallery, which I had not been to since I was, like, high school. And it was a cool experience. It may not have been the best, but it was, like, original, funny, and it knew what to go for. Is going for this quirky crowd that loves this. I love that Tampa Picture Show shows all sorts of random stuff there now. Yeah, they'll show their regular, weekly movie, whatever it is. But then they'll show, like, cult movies They have Cult Movie Thursday now. They show the Rocky Horror, which, hey, I'm cool with Rocky Horror on the weekends, but I like something different sometimes. They're motivating. They're showing burlesque shows there. I'm thinking, this is cool. This is what Tampa is about. It's not about Republican National Committee. It's not, well, it is about that. It's not about that. It's not about the, the strip clubs or the partiness of Ybor. It's about the people and about how we've got all sorts of different people in creative. I love our friends that I know. I've got friends who are like, I would say, I've got hardcore horror friends, which go here, they go to all these little things, and they'll go to Spooky Empire, which is our home away from home. And Spooky Empire, even though the convention itself is fun in Orlando, I like going there more to see my friends because it's like a get-together. People like us. Like our horror people that are like way into horror. I like our castle people who are like all into that scene. Like the people that we just chill and have movie nights with and just chit-chat and do cheesy things. Like hanging out at somebody's house to have a party because it's just us bullshitting, but whatever. And I like doing some of this low underground stuff where it's like, hey, it may not be the best, but I have a chance to watch some crappy movie I've never seen. Maybe it's a good movie, maybe it's bad, but it's by some kind of undergroundish, and hey, the director might be there. Or hey, one of the people who work there might be there. And just to get the feel of Tampa, which it feels this underground movement in this group. It's not, I say underground, but really it's even beyond that. You can tell certain things and people know what it is. Tampa's not just, hey, one thing. It's got its personality, its quirks, its wackiness. And it may not be a big city, but it's still got a good vibe and it's got good people with it. And those communities have great people in it. So, like I said, off-topic rambling all over the place. Last thing. I'm trying to get this. I'm doing this sober, so you guys know, obviously, the thoughts aren't rolling out my head as much as I do them when I've been drinking. Let's see. We're going to MegaCon, which is next weekend, Saturday, week from today. And that should be interesting. I'm not the biggest on MegaCon. Honestly, I've been there once before. I didn't have a good vibe off of it because the way they have it laid out. It's not my... I'm not big on convention center conventions. Gone to MetroCon, it's okay. It's a little more spread out. But going to try it again. We're going to go with a couple friends. And we're going to the Arkham party, which is basically an excuse to say, hey, the convention closes early. Let's all go to this party. Let's go to this hotel and there's a bar and we'll have a party and you can wear a costume. Something to do later at night. And I'm very pro convention related activities that are all through the night. Because conventions are awesome, but you need to have that different vibe for all people. And I hate when a convention ends and there's nothing to do the rest of the night and you felt like you just wasted. You can't do anything. Some of us like doing stuff at night versus just during the day. So that's MegaCon coming up. I'm sure there's a ton of things. We're in between filming some of our mini projects for Wicked Windows, so we're going through that. We had one that we thought was great, and then we realized out of focus. And we're working on some of our others. We're coming up with some ideas on the PSA, which for us it's really the before the movie starts, shut the hell up sort of segment. So we're still working on that, and we have another short that's 5 minutes that looks promising, but we're going at snail's pace just because it's hard when you've got people who have regular jobs trying to do this stuff. It's not like, and we're learning. When you're learning, everything takes longer. So we're getting there. Birthday parties. I cannot. April's the big fetish event over at the castle. It's going to be the Fangbangers Ball, which it sounds exactly how it is. Look at Nightside Productions, I think. Let's see, what else? And then we come up to, we got different things throughout the next couple months, weekends, visiting some friends, going out to some places. And then in May, the Mayhem event, which should be really awesome. It's spooky, so it's going to be the second Mayhem ever, but it was a nice little starter vibe. I'm not so keen on some of the people they have, but with that said, sometimes I don't really go just for some of the people they have. Sometimes I go for my friends. And I've actually been quite surprised some of the times I've been seeing some of the people they've had. And I've actually been really impressed by how cool they are when I thought they'd be total douchebags, which is like the infamous thing I've always said to someone. But that should be good. The only sad thing recently that's happened is, you all probably know by now, is Bill Hinsman passed away. He was the zombie in the first zombie in Night of the Living Dead. I mean, he's iconic. And I know he's probably done lots of conventions, so saying he's our person's not true. He obviously went to a bunch of them. He's done this sort of thing. But you could tell for someone I saw him at every Spooky Empire convention, and he was always so friendly. He was out there, get up for the zombie walks, and was always there. Numerous times he'd hang out with people and just chill, and it was always like, that's the person you want to be. You know, who knows what obviously his movie career wasn't like high up there, but he was a good person. He had great vibe. That's the important part. And for Spooky, it's like someone, you know, whenever, I'm sure it's felt like this for other people at convention. He was like part of our family. So, it's sad that he passed. Obviously, he lived a nice long life, and he's lucky that, you know, we're lucky that we got to know him, and he obviously had a really good vibe. Hold on. Sorry. Yes, what you want. Dead space while I'm texting. Just what you always wanted. Or dead air, dead quiet, whatever. Trying to come up with some inspiration to give you guys. I think I'm kind of neutering my little point, and I think the rum cake's about ready. So, what else can I say? 2012's turned out pretty good overall. Some little hiccups, but overall it's a good year. Have fun. Maybe I'll be a little more ranty the next time. Hopefully I get you something out before Mayhem, but at the rate we're going, it'll probably be Mayhem, and then you can see the drunk Shelly wander effect. So, thank you, and hope you like this first edition of Shelly's Rants where I haven't had a drink. Okay, goodbye.